Hele ua ui tahe mai a kaunei.
Ano I, Chair Chang, and the Commission on Water Resource Management. My name is Alikiahi, and I belong to the old families of Lahaina. We will restore Moku'ula, which includes all the waterways and appurtenances. Kiha will return, likewise our original and national identities. For all intents and purposes, we will bring an end to the plantation system and bring about the conditions for Kiha to manifest once again. We haven't forgotten where we come from as Kanaka Maoli. The state of Hawaii must not forget where you come from as well. The problems we face as a community, whether it be the housing crisis, the environmental crisis, the social, economic, or whatever crisis, is a direct result of the collusion between settler plantation colonialism and U.S. imperialism, perpetuated by their developer offspring. Lahaina is literally suffering from the inefficacy of plantation life. In closing, we Lahaina people will never stop being vigilant, and our due diligence will be best measured by our ability to rid ourselves of the long-standing corporate control of our resources. We stand with our water protectors in East Maui, in Navai'eha, at Red Hill, and throughout the rest of the Pai'aina. Imua kako, ola ika vai, mahalo.
Even though the plantations have been gone for the past 30 plus years, Lahaina water resources is still controlled largely by private land companies and purveyors. 75% of the water resource in Lahaina is controlled by private entities. Only 25% is controlled by the county government. So the narrative that West Maui Land Company, Peter Martin and Glenn Trumbull putting out there that if they had access to the streams, that they would be able to use that to suppress the fires is false. None of these streams are connected to any county facility or fire hydrants. We feel that West Maui Land Company, Peter Martin, is taking this opportunity during hardship and suffering to take advantage of getting their agenda moving along at the expense of the people in Lahaina. Stop spreading that dangerous narrative about the water issue and the hydrants running out of water and putting it solely on what they say was the activists who helped to restore these streams. And so, as one thing I'll explain to you, Don, every time when we commission came to Lahaina, we brought hundreds. A lot of us here, 30 or 40 of us, were willing to make the trek to come here, 4 o'clock in the morning, waking up to get here, for make sure our president is known. When you come Lahaina, be ready for see hundreds. One thing about Lahaina, we fierce. We studied. We know what we're talking about. We know why WAI. Do you know why WAI is the question? And lastly, the motto of Lahaina High School. Yeah, not even the fierce winds of Payola can extinguish our fire, our light. So when you come to Lahaina, be ready. Yeah, you're going to have to hear things that you guys might not want to hear. But the trust of the public went right out the door with this emergency proclamation.
Imperialism, also known as neo-colonialism, also known as the export of financial capital, also known as highest development of Roman maritime commerce and exchange, also known as Loanshark Bankster USURY, all tied to the NASDAQ stock market gambling casinos. is the domination of foreign markets via the method of imperialist and puppet fascist real bullet rule, or social-imperialist and puppet social fascist doublespeak, fork-tongue, sugar-coated bullet politics, but all to protect and perpetuate their system of haves and have-nots, whereby the elitist haves, that is, the money changers of old, parasitize off the impoverished have-not debt slaves and wage slaves. Divide and rule tactics are the methods to enhance this, which usually involves pacification of one section of the population being allowed to possess some of the stolen wealth from the neo-colonies, also known as trickle-down economics, token crumbs, and or the usual standby method of economic Payola bribery. Imperialist wars are wars directed at the innately born righteous peoples who have maintained and sustained their sacredness despite eons of subversion. These malevolent wars are simultaneously both physical and spiritual, such that on our part, the highest level of divinity, that being the God love in our hearts, is to stand up in the face of this malevolence and not have the illusion that this artificially intelligent beast will stop its attacks by itself, on its own. This can only happen when it is confronted with the most kapu pono tough love. The war on Hawaii and its people has particularly been existing since 1893, when the government was suspended, forced by a U.S.-backed coup d'etat, such that the issue of war crimes has now come to the forefront in regards to the ongoing heavy malevolence. At this juncture, any present lawful demand must be emphasized and accompanied by a war crime notification and warning, be it for accountability, peace treaty, or surrender. Historically, all demands have been met with disdain and viewed as just another hearing to allow kia'i to blow off steam. None are so deaf as those who choose not to hear. Finally, too, it must be noted that the attacks are only continuing, and the one presently in progress is the spraying of vinyl acetate glue for the so-called preparation of the ash to prevent runoff, red desecrating the Aina, so Malama Aina will never be safe. Parking lots, hotels, shopping centers is only for more financial capital, monopoly capital, obscene super profiteering, not for Malama Aina. This is the grand finale of this whole drama fear production, to end with the mass poisoning of the sacred Aina, adding complete insult to injury. For all sovereign kia'i of all nationalities on this soil adhere to Ko Hawaii Pai Aina, Hawaiian Kingdom Law, Creator's Law, 1839 Declaration of Rights, 1840 Constitution, U.S. Constitution, Article 6, Clause 2, Supremacy of Treaties regarding treaties of annexation, which in this case, lack of, Public Law 103-150, Apology Bill, HRS 172-11, which prohibits the state from alienating na-ohana rights to ancestral lands, honoring all apanas of the Land Commission Awards, Friendship Treaties 1826 and 1849, Law of Nations Statutes, International Law Statutes, Hague and Geneva Conventions Tenets, Laws of Occupation, U.S. Army Field Manual 2710 to be adhered to in lieu of the 1983 admitted occupation enforcing Hawaiian Kingdom laws.